let us praise you. And with organs, oh, let us praise you. With the high and loud cymbal, praise him, oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. Let's learn in his sanctuary. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. Let's learn in his sanctuary. Oh, praise him the Lord. With string instruments, let us praise him. And with organs, oh, let us praise him. With the high and loud cymbal, praise him. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. It's not in his sanctuary. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. Oh, praise him the Lord. It's not in his sanctuary. Oh, praise him the Lord. Let every limb that hath breath, let every limb that hath
Good morning, Temple of Light family. Good morning. It is an absolute joy for me to be here this morning and to celebrate this very, very special day. You know, every time I see Ponciano trees, second to the Puya, of course, but I just know that God is present, expressing beautifully, powerfully, and joyfully as our beautiful flowers. And just looking and seeing the smiles and the joy on each face, I know that God is in this place. So let us just now pool our consciousness together as we do our opening affirmative prayer. Let us just know together that there is just one God, one presence, one eternal power, that which is the source of all good, that which is creation itself. And it is that which is expressing as each and every one of us here this morning. I know that it is that which whispered, "Come." And we all heeded the call to join together in this beautiful place we know as a Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living, to celebrate this experience of a candidating weekend as we have our guest, Rev Michele, share with us. We truly are grateful for the opportunity to expand and grow in consciousness. And I know that each one here is open and receptive to the whisperings of spirit. I know that every aspect of this service is God in perfect expression. Our message, our music, the speaking and the listening, the hearing and the understanding, it's all God, and it's all so good and so very, very good. I'm so grateful to be the conduit through which God speaks this morning. And I know that it is an absolutely amazing service. So we all come together to sing to the honor and glory of that which brought us into being. And so with deep and heartfelt gratitude, I now release these words to that law which acts upon them and makes them our absolute experience. I do rejoice and know that all of this is so. And together we say, and so it is. Our inspirational reading this morning, welcome, welcome, good to see everyone, is taken from the Joyous Living Journal, penned by Reverend Dr. Petro Weldes and Dr. Christian Sorensen. And the title is Prayer made simple. And it says, when praying, a powerful position to hold is that there is only one life, the one Spirit in and through all things. When you know there is no power apart from this one life, which is your life, there is nothing to overcome. The power of prayer lies in the embodiment of this truth. You may believe there could be a power apart from the infinite, but think about it. That wouldn't make much sense now, would it? But there is still no need for you to convince God of your problem-prompting prayer. All you need to do is come into alignment in your knowingness of the one infinite life force and feel your true essence, the part of you that has never been violated. This understanding will reveal the inherent wholeness that has been there the whole time, as easily as light dissipates the darkness, to show what is already in the room. Rest in the knowingness of your true nature, which is spirit expressing, until a sense of release comes and peace settles in. Healing can be this simple. And so as we contemplate these words, there is a quote from Psalm 46:10. And I can invite you to just ponder this thought throughout this week. And it's, be still and know that I am God. And so it is. And so we're going to sing together our chant. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Just hum it together. And so now we'll just enjoy a few moments of silence and quiet reflection. And now we'll say together the affirmation of divine love, middle of page 2. Together. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for this church now. Divine love is now victorious, and so it is. And now we are going to sing. We're going to do our praise song, so I'm going to invite you to stand, and we're going to sing It's a Special Day. Bottom of page 2.
Something is occurring, something new is stirring, something of the Spirit blesses me today. Energies are sparking, totally transforming, something of the Spirit blesses me today. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. Knowledge is behind it. I am being guided. Something of the Spirit blesses me with light. I have perfect leading to the good I'm leading. Something of the Spirit blesses me with light. It's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. I accept my blessing. Through it I'm expressing something of the Spirit. Lord is good. Every trouble ceases. All my joy increases. Something of the Spirit blesses me with good. It's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way.
Please remain standing as we do the prayer of our center on the flyer on your program. Together, the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community through which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so it is. Please be seated. And I'd like to invite Abigail to light the youth candle on behalf of all the children of the world. Nice. Okay. Puts me to shame, right?
light this candle on behalf of all the children of the world. Yeah, let us salute the Christ in them.
Thanks, Abby. And we said the blessing for our little ones on page 3. We love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. We see you as shining lights onto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. Yes, and now we're going to rev up for our mission song. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. Yeah. Oh, every time I hear the year, I remember Reverend John. He added the year. Friends, just a few brief announcements. Anyone visiting with us for the first time this morning? Yes, welcome. Put your hands up high. Yes. Yes, okay. So, we salute the Christ in you. We are truly grateful that you chose to be here this morning. We welcome you to our hearts and to our spiritual family. We invite you to sign the register, which is on the table in the annex, just so that we can keep in touch. And we do appreciate you being here, and we invite you to come again and again. Let us now just welcome our guests again. Yes, we truly behold the Christ in you. Oh, there's a sticker that you will get on your... can you just raise your hands again as the first-time visitors? There's this gentleman here, Shima, this gentleman behind the camera. Right. Okay. Right, and it's the gentleman that's with the camera right here, and this lady right here. And of course, Reverend Michele, it's her first time here as well in this sanctuary. Okay. Going for more? Okay. That's it? Okay. All right, so our floral arrangements this morning were artfully created. Who you think did the flowers this morning? Faye? I wish I had a prize to give out, right? Yes, it's Faye, or beloved Faye Kessler. And with contributions from our floral angels. We say special thanks to Valerie Brown and Judith Deere for their contributions. And thank you all, floral angels. We do appreciate your gifts. And thank you, Faye. Faye, yes, thank you, my precious. So the program has a significant events, and so we ask you to take that home and so keep in touch. But there are a couple of items that we want to bring your attention to. Our weekly spiritual mind healing service on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and this Tuesday it will be practitioner Tamu Davidson. So the link is sent out via Zoom, and it's an event not to be missed. So join us and just participate and be part of that wonderful experience that we call a spiritual mind healing service. Now, next week, Sunday, we will be having an extraordinary general meeting. By now, you'd have been receiving reminders via email of this meeting, this EGM, scheduled for Sunday, July 30 at 10:30 a.m. It's going to be a very short meeting. There are a number of proxy forms that have been emailed. So for those who will not be able to email to attend in person, and we're talking about registered members, we invite you to complete the form and return it to the office. To come and share in this wonderful milestone in the life of our community. And so at this AGM, this is where we will be taking a members' vote for the choice to appoint our new minister, or to keep looking. So please be reminded also that membership fees for the year 2023 can now be paid in full. So, or you can make other arrangements, to pay in portion at the office. Something exciting to look forward to. It's my birth month in October, and we're going to have our master class. We haven't had one since, I think it was 2019. So we're going to have an exciting master class on the weekend of October 27th to 29. And so it will be on the North Coast at one of our wonderful resorts. The cost is US $4,000. I just want to make sure you were listening, right? US $465 per person for double occupancy, and US $678 for single occupancy, or its equivalent in Jamaican dollars. And that fee includes transportation, all class materials, all other gratuities, and at the all-inclusive resort of Jewels Paradise Cove in Runaway Bay. So it's going to be an amazing weekend. Come to the office and make arrangements to pay. I started paying from my herd, so it didn't seem like plenty. You pay a little bit, and as we say in Jamaica, every mickle make a muckle. So I soon reached my muckle. Please don't ask me what a muckle is or a mickle, but you get the gist, right? So come and make the arrangements. And our speaker is the amazing science of mind luminary, Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones. He has penned a number of amazing books. He has visited Jamaica before. He has been guest on our Lifeline program. He's a really good friend of Jamaica. And I know he's going to really, really move you far and forward on your prosperity journey. The theme of the workshop on the weekend is Create a Life of Abundance Filled with Purpose and Meaning. So we invite you to come and play and awaken, deepen and grow and learn to thrive, all at Jewel Paradise Cove, Runaway Bay. So looking forward to seeing as many of you there. And tell your friends. And tell your friends too, it would be a nice holiday from foreign people to come. In October is getting chilly, right? So people can come from foreign and enjoy a really, really wonderful weekend. Friends, we continue to respond to all your requests for prayer. Practitioners available to pray with you immediately following the service. And this morning, practitioner Vance Gardner is on duty, and the number to call is 876-289-0907. That's 876-289-0907. And if you wish to speak with a practitioner, you can call the same number, 876-289-0907, anytime from 8 a.m. to midnight, Monday to Friday. And pastoral counseling is also available, and you can call the office for an appointment. Friends, we welcome your donations, your tithes, and your offerings, and we appreciate and thank you for your generosity for helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. So if you wish to support our ministry, we ask you to visit our donate page at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, and it has all our banking details. So we thank you as together we will support a world that works for everyone. So this is the end of our announcements, and it is my pleasure to invite you to stand for our first hymn together, Great is Thy Faithfulness. You may be seated. Lord, you stand up like you're waiting for the next hymn. Wow. Friends, our guest this morning, our very special guest, is an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. She's an author, consultant, master facilitator, and a certified life coach. She served the Spiritual Empowerment Center in Baltimore, Maryland for more than 10 years. And I have to stop here, because those of you who have been around for a while may remember Paula Byfield. Paula was a practitioner trained by Reverend Elmer, and we all were trained at the same time. And then Paula went on to become a minister. And Paula was the senior pastor at this center, the Spiritual Empowerment Center in Baltimore, Maryland. Paula passed away. She went on to a higher ministry. And our guest took over as pastor. So she was there for more than 10 years, and that motivated her to pen her first book, Inspiration in Small Doses. And while she was in ministerial training, she concentrated on bereavement support, extending this care to many families during their experience of grief. She officiates funerals, what we call Thanksgiving services, memorials, and weddings. She's president of Management Dynamics Incorporated, a consulting firm specializing in diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies and training. As master facilitator and certified life coach, she takes a human-centered approach to leadership and personal development, extending these skills into all aspects of her ministry. Writing and publishing are her most recent passions. She has led numerous writers' groups and teaches online writing workshops. I'm filing that information for first-time authors. Her second book, I love the pun, Widows Speak, was recently launched in July, just this month, July 6, 2023. She holds a bachelor's degree in human relations and organizational behavior from the University of San Francisco, and a master's degree in consciousness studies from the Holmes Institute. When she's not writing or facilitating workshops, she hikes, plays tennis, and practices yoga. She believes her life purpose is to help others realize their divine potential. And another little joke before I introduce her. Her late husband has roots here in Jamaica. My family were born here. She honeymooned in the grill. She has been to Jamaica many, many times, although this is her first trip to Kingston. And it won't be the last. What do you think? So I invite you to open your hearts wide and put your hands together and join me in giving a rousing welcome to our special guest speaker this morning, Reverend Michele Synegal.
Wow, great rising. I'm so honored to be here with you all. And so I had a real challenge in preparing this talk for today because it needs to be somewhat autobiographical so you can get a sense of who I am beyond, what she just read. But then also I have to impart some message, right? Some words of wisdom. So the good news is God provided me with the skills to do such a thing, to write and to craft something that meets all of those objectives. So what I decided to do was to focus in on prayer. Prayer is its own answer, is the title of my talk. But before I actually get into the talk, yesterday at the workshop, we started writing I am poems. And I shared with folks, so I share with you, because I've had questions about the origin of my name. My last name, is that your married name, your maiden name? So I am Michele Synegal. And Michele is the feminine version of Michael, the archangel, who sits at the right hand of God. So my parents, they didn't know what they were doing. They said, oh, that's a nice name, it sounds good. But actually, they determined my destiny at that point. So in utero, I was destined to be one who imparts spiritual information and knowledge. So Synegal, where'd that come from? Synegal is a derivative of the French word Sénéchal. Sénéchal means old and noble servant. I didn't have a choice. I was going to be in ministry. I was going to serve people before I was even conceived. when they thought of that name. So that's a little bit about who I am in terms of my name. So what is my intention for our time together? My intention is to remind you of how powerful prayer is and also how important prayer is. So I know that for months, I'm going to move this a little bit, that for months you all have all prayed for the right and perfect senior minister to appear at Temple of Light. So here I am standing before you in the flesh. So how did that come to be? How did that come to be? It came to be because of the law of cause and effect. Your prayer was the cause. I'm the effect. And so how did it happen? Because while you all were visioning and praying, I didn't know anything about Temple of Light. I didn't know you all were seeking a minister, but I was doing my own work. I was praying for my next divine assignment. So, what happened? In the language of quantum physics, we were vibrating at the same level. You all had your prayers, I had my prayers, and they collapsed in the field, the electromagnetic field of infinite possibility. So I'm here. So let me meet my other objective, and that is to remind you all of the power of prayer. Why is it so important and why is it so potent? It's because it's directed towards the source of all life. That is the object of the prayer. That is the intent of the prayer, to make that connection with the all-knowingness, the all-loving kindness of the Most High God. And so what I know about that is that source has all power. I didn't say some of it. I didn't say in certain situations. I said all the power. So is that not enough? It empowers our ability to manifest the things that we desire to have in our lives. It's not us doing it by ourselves. We are co-creators. We're not the creator. So we co-create with Spirit to bring about that which enhances us, enriches us, empowers us. And so if we are operating from that place, we cannot do anything other than to leave in our wake the blessing of empowerment for other people. We are all ministers. I just happen to be one that has a license. But we are all ministers. So be mindful of that you have the ability to influence other people just by virtue of your beingness. You'll walk into a room. If you are evolved and enlightened in your consciousness, you shift the energy in the room. Anybody ever had that experience? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so we want to always be steeped in spiritual practice so that we can express our God-given gifts and talents just by virtue of our being. So, why is prayer important? Because praying helps us to grow closer to the divine presence. It enables us to be in constant communication. Prayer is a conduit to that divine presence. And that divine presence, as I said, is the source of all life. And if I can sum up the importance of prayer into one big reason, it would be this, that prayer does help us to grow in consciousness and to feel and to live from and to be imbued with the presence of God. Prayer also helps us align ourselves with God's will. I was talking to someone last night, and they had all these wonderful plans they were sharing with me, but none of them came to pass. And I kind of laughed, and I said, you know what we plan, and the universe just laughs at us. And it laughs at us because there is a divine plan, a higher plan for our lives. And it's not until we are in that constant communication, that constant contact, and we actually feel the presence that we know what is ours to do, that our purpose in life is revealed to us. And so when we pray, and when our prayers are in alignment with divine will, then guess what? We may dream about it, think about it always. But it's something that just lingers. It's always with us. It's always there. And sometimes we try to just, blow it off. Oh, no. You don't mean me. You don't mean me. No, you don't really want me to be a minister. But then all of the laws of the universe conspire to that end. And you just think about it all the time. You dream about it. And so when that happens, when you all have those dreams, when you have those visions, then you know that's yours to do, and that's not your mind. That's not coming from your mind, because your mind can be very dismissive. It's coming from divine mind, which will never, ever let you go until you step into that which is yours to do, the very reason for your existence. So why else is prayer important? It's important because it gives us wisdom and it gives us guidance. Sometimes we pray to seek a solution to a problem, a better way, how to overcome some challenge that life has served up. And so it's when we pray, and then we listen, and then we are obedient. What is that obedience? That is acting with faith on the divine guidance that was giving us. Probably won't make rational sense to us sometimes when Spirit speaks to me. I'm like, for real? Did you really mean that? So it may not seem logical or rational to us, but what I've learned to do is to obey Spirit. And then guess what? I'm just blessed. And my blessings are multiplied, shaken together, running over. And I'm sure that that's been your experience as well, because that was a part of my divine assignment. And as I said, I am obedient. So in the King James Version of the Bible, James 1:5 says that if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all, not some of us, to all, without finding fault. So ask, and it will be given unto you. And when my children were growing up, they're little metaphysicians, I would just say something very simple like, if you don't ask, you don't get. And so they have learned to ask for what it is they want at a very, very early age. And of course, my grandchildren are being indoctrinated in that way as well. So here's the fourth reason. Prayer is powerful because it works. So if you are able, stand if you have ever had a prayer answered. If you can't stand, raise your hand if you've ever had prayer answered. Praise God. Praise God be the glory. Thank you very much. You can sit down. You are scientific evidence of the power of prayer. If you have had prayers answered, that's the evidence. That's all we need to know. So I can stop right here, but I won't. They said I have 15 to 20, so I'm going to take 15 to 20. So what I also know is that Spirit can do so much more than we ever imagine. Just think of a situation where, you're thinking, I want X, Y, and Z. And if you pray like I pray, and it's this or something better, That's always my prayer. This I ask for. And they say, be specific in your treatment. But I'm not going to leave it there, because guess what? Divine mind knows more than I know, so I'll say, or something better. And what happens is I usually get the something better. And I didn't even imagine that. My mind didn't conceive of that. But you see, infinite mind has no limitation. Infinite mind can deliver upon any and everything because it is the source of all. So always, if you don't do that, end your treatments with this or something better. And the thing is about that better, is that better comes from a consciousness that is so much higher than our own. That's why it's so important for us to pray, so that we can be imbued with the power and the ability of the source back of all life. What else did I want to say? I wanted to say that I write sermons all the time, and I'll tell you, you all are just eavesdropping on a conversation that I had with myself. So I'm sharing it with you. I'm really talking to myself, but you can listen. You can even take notes. It's okay. Because, as I said while you were praying and visioning for your new minister, I was praying and then listening. And then, as I said, I'm obedient. I took the next step. And I completed the application. I had to pray first. You know, someone called me and said, you'd be perfect for this opportunity. Go to the website, check it out. And so then she calls back and she said, well, did you apply? And I said, well, I haven't gotten confirmation yet. Well, who's going to confirm? Oh, the Most High. And so once I got that confirmation, I got that process started. Then I prayed, I listened, I acted on faith. When Spirit guided me to attend ministerial school, someone asked me, was it a calling? And I said, well, to be perfectly honest, I was being very, very selfish. It was all about me. What does that mean? I had taken every single class that you could take. And the next series of classes was ministerial school. And so I said, so I guess that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to ministerial school because my life had been transformed, and I wanted more of that, and I wanted more of that. And so if I had to go to ministerial school to obtain that, then I was willing to do that. So I prayed about it. Is this mine to do? Because I was living in Maryland, and I had to go to school in California. So I waited for that confirmation. Confirmation came. So after I did all the online courses, I flew to California once, sometimes twice a month, to be present for the services and the classes that you had to be on campus for. I don't know if you all know, but coast-to-coast travel, I mean, it's not exactly inexpensive. But the thing is, because it was a part of God's divine plan for my life, the resources always showed up. Always showed up, never, ever worried. And then fortunately, and you know, I'm somewhat astute, I went to a campus near where I had lived last. I've moved around a lot, you all. And where I had lived last was in Oakland, California, so I had friends there. It was an hour and a half from the campus, so I didn't have to pay for a hotel. Stayed with friends. Oftentimes, didn't even have to rent a car. Oh, we have a spare car, use our car. So I'm sharing that with you because, see, God makes a way when we think there is no way. All we have to do is step out on faith and step out on faith with a knowingness, with a conviction, and then everything that you need is going to show up, and not always in the way in which you expect, but it always shows up. So here's another example of when I prayed, I listened, and then I was obedient. It's when that call came from Reverend Paula Byfield, whom I had never met. I was a practitioner at a Unity center of light in Maryland because we Centers for Spiritual Living, didn't have a big foothold in that area. And so she says, I am starting the Spiritual Empowerment Center. I need practitioners. Will you come? I said, absolutely. I said, I'll be there in October. I've got to wrap some things up here. And then unfortunately in August, she transitioned. But I had to honor that commitment to Reverend Paula Byfield, so I showed up in October. I'm here to serve. And so I was in ministerial school. So I really didn't qualify to be a minister. So they had the job posted for about a year, and they didn't have any really serious contenders. And so one of the members of the board, who also went to ministerial school with me, who knew that I had finally received the call to step into ministry, not just for my own personal gain, but to help other people as well. So she said, we want you to apply. I said, I just finished my second year. She said, read the job description. All you had to have was to have completed 2 years of ministerial training in addition to being a licensed practitioner. So I stepped in, and I stepped up, and I served there. And I don't know if you all know about the demographics of Baltimore City, but it's not the most positive. And that particular year when I stepped up there, we were #1 in the nation for homicides. People thought I was crazy. You're going where? Baltimore City? I don't even drive my car through there. I said, but I've been called there, so I'm going. And of course, it's hype. It's an appearance. It's not the fact, it's not the truth. And I had some of the best years of my life serving that community for those 11 years total. And so then what happened? I prayed, I listened, and I asked for my next divine assignment. And it wasn't Spiritual Empowerment Center. So I had to love them and leave them. And so what was I called to do? See, at Spiritual Empowerment Center, like you all have your chant, I love it. You put your chant to music, we put our chant to music as well. And our chant was, we're a place for spiritual transformation and world transformation. So I was helping the folks in my congregation. I was helping folks in the Baltimore community, but I wasn't in integrity with the other part of that vision, which was to transform the world. And I said, I can do that through publishing, and especially with social media and online activity. I can reach more people. My reach can be wider and farther. And so I started writing. I started writing articles, and then, it resulted in a couple of books. However, COVID hit. Very, very isolated experience for me. I'm self-employed anyway, so I don't work with a whole lot of people. I just go to my clients, and if I'm not with clients, I'm in my own space. And that had to happen for like 2.5 years. And so I said, I'm not feeling fulfilled, and I prayed for my next divine assignment. I prayed and I longed for connection. I prayed and I longed for community. I just felt disconnected. Yes, I Zoom with my friends all the time, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's like standing in a spiritual space such as this and hearing that angel sing behind you. There was an angel behind me. You all had the most incredible voice. Probably wouldn't have heard that on Zoom because the mic would have been turned off, right? So I longed for community. I longed for the difference that we were making in Baltimore City. We did some wonderful things. Voter registration for previously incarcerated people. Didn't know they had rights. Educating those folks. You have a right to vote. You have paid your debt to society. Do you know casting a vote is so powerful for those people that thought they were powerless? We had computer labs at the center, and we didn't have a whole lot of computers. We had 6, but the students that didn't have computers at home, but the expectation is you do the work online, could come to our center. And we had tutors, and they were volunteers, members of the church who would tutor these children. We had health fairs. We would partner with the health department in the city of Baltimore. And so they'd bring their big mobile trucks and do screenings of blood pressure and sugar and all of the things that unfortunately many people of color succumb to. We were making a difference in the world, and I missed having that kind of impact. And so I prayed, and I obeyed. So another thing that I'd like to do right now is I would like to remind you to bring to a conscious level of awareness of the prayer that you all prayed and the vision that you all prayed for with regard to your new senior minister. So if you could just take that journey within for 1 second. Just block out everything except this eternal now moment. And what did you all pray? You said, God is the ultimate absolute spirit as leaders shepherding us into creative, inspiring, and inspired spiritual pathways and unconditional love and serenity. We are one with God. Therefore, our new minister is an instrument of source energy, rooted in principle and embodying spiritual consciousness as a charismatic, engaging, vibrant, inspiring leader. Our new minister is creative as a thinker, passionate about growth, inspiring to our youth, and able to create a vibe across all age groups. Our minister brings a good balance of fun, passionate engagement, warmth, and empathy, and a great sense of humor. There's only one of us here. And so individually and collectively, we know there is no separation between our new minister, ourselves, and the people of our beautiful island, Jamaica. We let go of all doubt and limited thinking as we welcome change and fully embrace the joy of a new adventure with our new minister. And you all somewhat verbose, so there's one more paragraph. We accept a new paradigm that inspires the consciousness of prosperity and abundance, manifesting in innovative ways of thinking, being, and acting, which is outpictured in, through, and as deep soul connection with our new minister. Together we join our hearts and hands to bless, prosper, and enrich our temple of light, and to accomplish all our goals as we build our community. With heartfelt gratitude, we release these words to law, trusting and surrendering to the guidance of Spirit for the perfect outcome. And so it is, and so it is. And so I resonated with that statement, and I honed in just on a couple of phrases that I think that spoke to me most. The one about being responsive to the needs of our youth. Well, I have 2 grandchildren, Nora, who is 4, Oliver, who just turned 2, and my children grew up in metaphysics. I want my grandchildren to have a place where they can come so that they can grow up in metaphysics as well. Why? Because they need a place where they're valued, where they're encouraged, where they're loved, and where they are empowered, also where they're supported in terms of attaining their goals and their objectives for their lives. Responsive to the needs of a diverse community. You heard my career. 40 years, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Everywhere I go, working with corporations, for profit and for not. Also, working with Centers for Spiritual Living as the chair of their Diversity Inclusion Commission. And the thing is I never thought that there was really a need to do that until I candidated at 3 different churches where there wasn't much diversity and I was in the minority. And so on 3 occasions, 3 men of the dominant culture, white, Caucasian, whatever you called it, were hired for those positions. And so I said, well, those just are not for me. It's not mine to do. The interesting thing, though, is that because of unconscious bias, implicit bias, they didn't even realize that they were being totally irrational in not choosing me. It's not to say that I think I'm all that, but I am. The fact of the matter is one of my colleagues had no ministerial experience. He had just graduated from school. And they hired him, and they hired his wife. And then 2 years later, they had to prosecute him for embezzlement. I had an opportunity to go back and address that audience afterwards. That was fun. So 3 attempts, 3 denials, and I would always affirm a delay is not a denial. A delay is not a denial. And so I just went about my business until I got that phone call. I got that phone call from my friend. And so here I am. What I want to leave you with is that I live my life on principle. I am the sermon you see, not the sermon you hear, not the sermon you read about. You have conversation with me, you ask me about life experiences, and you'll know that I apply principle to everything that I do. And as a consequence, I have a wonderful life. I live a great life. Somebody even asked me, I think it was Paul, he doesn't remember, but he said, why would you come to a foreign country? Why would you leave? I think it was you, Paul, on that Zoom call. And I don't know what I said in the moment, but the fact of the matter is because I can. Why can I? Because everywhere I go, I am divinely protected, divinely supported, because I know whose I am, and I know who I am. And so it doesn't matter where I go in the world, my every need will be supplied, and I will be living my life in accordance with divine will, not my will be done. So, I've prayed, you've visioned, I've visioned. You want and desire a new senior minister, and I believe that prayer is its own answer. And so it is. Amen.
Prayer is indeed its own answer. I think it's now that we should just do the musical item, right? Because, right. So friends, that was an absolutely heartfelt, you think? Authentic? Spirit expressing, sharing of why, and of how Spirit works. That sacred covenant you wrote. I don't know if you remember the experience where we gathered and we asked you, what do you want in a minister? And all those persons here generated those ideas. And those ideas were put on a chart, and we put them together. All we had was words, ideas, feelings, thoughts. And those thoughts and feelings and ideas became the sacred covenant. We're going to share it again with you via email this week. And we invite all our members to come on Sunday to vote. This is not a fait accompli. It's not because everybody clap, and it's an official process that's rooted in law, constitutional law. And so we have to have a vote by our membership next Sunday. So please, we do invite you to come. And so now we're going to invite you to just enjoy a little bit of sharing of our Temple Voices and friends. Music does that to me. I turn fool. Oh, but I need my program. Oh, this was an absolutely wonderful celebration. And now we are going to sing our last hymn together as we, in fact, you see what I mean? The Prayer of Jamaica. The Prayer of Jamaica, and it's on the flyer in your program. Yes. Let's stand, please. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches.
The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. And now we're going to sing our second hymn. This is you. Potential there. This is a
friends. You can sit for a moment. Before we close, When you came in this morning, we shared with you a sheet of paper, an evaluation. We would really, really like to get your feedback about how this morning went for you. It's just ticks. You put your tick on the statement that best suits your feeling about how each aspect of the morning flowed for you. And so we would love to collect those forms after the service. Okay? We really, really would like to get your feedback. And remember, next Sunday's extraordinary general meeting. And friends, as we just before we leave, we invite you to take your loving gifts, and we'll say our love offering blessing together. And that should be on the flyer. Yes. No, it's on the envelope. And so just those of you who are online, and just before you hit that donate button, just put your hands on your hearts. And together let us say, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so it is. And so before we do the peace song, I just want to share a few reminders with you. This week, Tuesday, join Dr. Tamu Davidson for our Tuesday evening spiritual mind healing service at 6 o'clock. Oh, and we forgot to share, Thursday is our monthly Lifeline program. And our special guest this month is Professor Jacqueline Bishop. Now, Jackie was one of our Sunday school children, taught by Reverend Dr. Sonia Davidson. And so she's now a professor of literature at New York University, NYU. And her topic this week is the market woman. Interesting topic. And the subtitle is The Essence of Who We Are. You want to wonder what a market woman has to do with the essence of who we are. So we will be sending out the link via Zoom, and we invite you to join us on Thursday at 6 o'clock for our Lifeline interview with myself as moderator and Reverend Ann as host, our guest, Professor Jacqueline Bishop. And right after Lifeline, we have, no, it's before, right, Reverend Sonia? Oh, before Lifeline at 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock for prayer power. Just an hour of commune with Spirit, and to share your heartfelt prayers as you wish. So 5 o'clock for prayer power and 6 o'clock for Lifeline. And then, of course, Sunday morning is our regular Sunday service. It's our Youth Sunday. So we invite you to come and support our young people as they take the service on Sunday, after which at 10:30 we will have our extraordinary general meeting with voting by members. Okay, friends, so we're now going to do our peace song. Oh, no, I think we're going to, sorry? No discovery this morning. We're going to have some libation and pickings right after, so we can get to know Reverend Michele. But Reverend Michele, can I ask you to do our closing affirmative prayer, and then we'll do our peace song? Okay.
Sure, absolutely. You all, normally I would say let's touch and agree. A little warm for that. So I want you to imagine that you are so close to one another that there is no separation. You realize that we are all one. So in your imaginings, what I know is that God is all there is. There is absolutely nothing else. And God is the only power in my life and in your life, and nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within you now. So as you lead the tempo of life today, you do so hopefully elevated not only in your thoughts, but in your spirit. You know, there's a little pep in your step because you are so excited to share your joy, to share your love, to share your empathy and compassion with the world. So I give thanks for all of the hands involved in making this Sunday service come together. I'm so grateful and thankful for being able to be before you all today. So wherever you go, know that you are surrounded, protected, and that spirit is wherever you are. There's no spot where God is not. We remember that always, and we let it be so. And we affirm, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
And just before our peace song, we'd just like to share a little bit of our love with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
This represents some of the creativity of our members. And so when you look, you'll see is what? We love you, and we're so grateful that you chose to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And now our peace song. Yes, there is peace on earth.
Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With borders of honor, far beyond me. Yes, we walk with each other in a perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins
Thank you, friends. Peace on earth.
and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With borders of honor, far beyond me. Yes, we walk with each other in a perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. Every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in a peace eternal. Yes, there is peace on earth. Yes, it
Have a wonderful rest of your day and a fabulous week. Namaste.
And so it is.